We didn't have any in our family, but we had it in the neighborhood, and we knew it was, everybody thought it was terrible, you know, a disease, and so we didn't travel much back then because we didn't have much way of traveling, and we stayed at home, but we knew how bad it infected some in the neighborhood. Some of our relatives had it. They were deathly sick and bedridden, and they were all, seemed to be everybody thinking they were going to eventually die from it. The others, of course, took a long time to get over it. The fear was the main thing. Everybody was afraid of it. In our neighborhood, there was a number of deaths. Of course, it was scattered, because as I said, we didn't travel much back then. The families and the neighbors that would come in and help them, but they didn't have any outside people much to do that. But a lot of people didn't have a lot of stuff, but a lot of the old home remedies that you still can use is good, and they used all of them back then because that's all they had to work with mostly. The schools went on, they didn't close.
They did not?
Of course, they were country schools, and the disease didn't spread back then very fast, you know, and so most people back then raised nearly everything they ate, and so if they ran out, they just had to wait, you know. They didn't buy anything much because they had gardens and they took care of most everything except flour and sugar, something like that. I put canned stuff, and I kept, of course, I always kept plenty of flour and sugar and coffee and stuff like that you have to buy mostly, because we didn't have wheat and stuff. We had plenty of corn. We always had homemade meal and keep that on hand. Well, as far as food and stuff, I'll do like we always did, use the things that you have and keep them. We have, you know, deep freezers weren't in full then, but now you can buy up stuff and have stuff on hand and keep something, just like we have here in the beauty shop. They keep plenty of water in case of emergencies, that we can have some water to drink, and they could do that too in the country and keep a supply, a room prepared for it. I think people this day and time need to take more in consideration of diseases that are transferred that way and be informed about them. A lot of people know and they don't do, but they need to know enough to do.